Greetings. It is I, TJ, Taurai Jack, coming out straight live from M5 Property Addicts New. Right, so today I want us to actually want us to cover something else. And today I am going to call, the topic of today is the ultimate guide of investing in property with no money. I'm going to give you guys a step-by-step guide. Step-by-step guide on how to invest in property with no money. I'm going to give you today that. These are kind of like some of my secrets that I've tried and tested, and I built a business around it, and I thought, let me share with you. There's around about 5 of them that I want to share with you. There's a whole lot, obviously, but I want to share around about 5 with you so that you can see that this can be done. You can see that it is real. You can try to implement it. And that's my story. I'm going to stick to it. And says, good morning, TJ. Boom, back at you. And good morning as well. Good seeing you. Right. Let us start. The first thing, the ultimate guide of investing in property with no money at all. The first part is that, right, you need to know how to find good deals. You need to know how to find good deals, right? If it is a challenge in terms of you finding good deals, I say that you need to go onto my YouTube page, M5 Property Addicts, and look at some of the videos there. In particular, you're looking for a video where I indicate what are the 7 things that you need to know before you look for a property investment deal, right? The 7 things that you need to know before you do a property investment deal. And in that video, I break it down on what are you looking for to look for an investment property, right? So that's the first one. The first one is you need to know how to look for good deals. So how are you going to do that? Number one, you need to get educated. If you don't know what it means to be educated in property, then you need to be attending seminars. Well, you can't be attending seminars right now because it is locked down. Guess what? Everything has gone online. So you need to find like-minded people like me who are talking about this thing, right? So where are you going to get the education? So for instance, we've got an m5experience.m5propertyaddicts.com, and on there you've got plenty of education that you got there, and you can actually just learning from there on the education. That's the education piece. But if you already got some education, which is good, we can go on to the next thing, right? Do you have someone else who is a guide, someone else who's accountable to you, a mentor or a coach, right? Someone who can nudge you to say, hey, you need to be doing X. This deal is not a good deal. Sometimes we cook these deals so that they become a good deal, but it's not always the case. We don't have to do that. A good deal is a good deal. So that's the first one. You need to know how to find a good deal. What did I say? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. You need to know how to get good deals. Now that you've got a good deal, it is at hand and you've got it. What do? You need to know where to find investors. All right? It's a skill, it's an art that you can learn. I didn't have it before. I didn't even know what investors looked like, right? I've done a course called Finding Private Money for Your Deals. It's coming. In there, if you've never done anything around finding investors, you can go onto our learning portal again, and you can go through onto that course and learn and educate yourself. But investors are everywhere. So, and if you have some investors on board, good on you. So your missing block is that you don't know how to find good deals. So now that you've got good deals, on one hand, you've got good deals, and on the other hand, you know how to find for investors. You can actually now put them all together. That is step number 2 in your process into your process of buying properties with no money at all, right? With no money at all. So now that you've got it, you need to know how to approach and work with investors. By the way, not all investors are good for you. Some investors are not good for you. Some investors don't want to work with you. Some investors don't think that you're good enough for your money, for their money. Some investors think that you are inexperienced, all of those things, right? But you are going to find an investor that just trusts you. And I've had that opportunity where an investor just trusted me, and from there on, the business grew. So when I talk about you need to know how to approach an investor, there is a formula, there is secrets around this. Some of those secrets is that it's not just about your proposal. No, there is more to it, right? And I'm going to share with you what are some of those things. So fine, great, you find your deal, you've gone out there and you have found a good deal that you're happy with. And now you've got an investor. Never rely on one investor, okay? Never ever rely on one investor. And I say it again, do not rely on one investor. Always have a pool of investors, 3 or more at any given time on any deal. That way you have options. Now, the secrets that I'm talking about, that was secret A. Secret B is that whenever you're approaching your investors, right, you need to approach them, yes, with a proposal, but you need to approach them with what is it that they want from you. Okay? It's not about the deal. It's not about you. What is it that they want from you? Okay? Or what is it that they want from the deal? Or what is it that they want for their money? Okay? Now, secret number C is, out of it all, how best can you secure their money, right? They are giving away their monies, they are parting away their monies. So how can you do it? So in terms of step number 3, in terms of how to approach and work with investors, there's a wider variety of things that you can include, and not all of them will speak to each individual of an investor. Some things are going to relate with one investor, some things are not. So who are you going to be working with? Who are you going to gel with? Some investors just like you. You as an individual, they just like you. And for that reason, you can quickly jump in and start doing business with them without actually jumping through all the hoops. Okay, what is it that they're looking for? Is it security? Is it equity? Is it returns? How much returns are you going to be giving them? All of these things are things that you can actually need to go into understand each investor. My biggest secret is that I never approach an investor with a deal on my first meeting. It's not about it. It's about meeting that individual and meeting their needs if they've indicated that they are an investor. So what is an investor? I've risen my hand and I've said, hey, TJ, I want to invest with you. Right. So we start talking about, okay, how much money do you have? Right? Not necessarily how much money do you have. People might freak out because you want to know how much is their bank account. The point is, how much money do they want to avail for your projects, right? Or project. Once you now know that, then, or once that is out of the way, then you can start talking about the individual themselves. What is it that they want? Are they wanting for partnerships? Are they wanting equity? Are they wanting to get some returns? How often is that returns? Some investors don't want to be paid when the project is come to an end. Maybe some they want to get paid at the end of the year, right? So your project could be 6 months and they want you to keep that money so that it works and works harder, and at the end of the year they get their money. So I don't know, you need to look into your investor and talk about these things, right? And flush it out. Once you've flushed it out, you now have a solid understanding of what this investor is looking for. And then thereafter, you start crafting something along that investor. All right. Step number 4 of the ultimate guide of investing in property with no money. I said it, no money. Yeah, ultimate guide, right? So I'm giving you a step-by-step here of investing in property with no money at all. And I am going to give you another ultimate guide to investing, obviously using your own money and starting from the bottom in terms of what do you need to do. But this one here is my brothers and sisters out there with no money. Yeah, with no money at all. So whether you've got some money and it's not enough and you want to bring someone on board who's got money. Does that make sense? I think it does. Yeah. So step number 4, right? How to secure. You need to know how to secure whatever you are promising. So remember, you had a meeting with this investor. So now you need to know how to secure that. And this is a stumbling block for a lot of us because we actually don't know how to do it. None of us are lawyers. None of us, we are all just property investors. But if you're a property investor and you're a lawyer, boom, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So the point is that if you are promising these individuals at the end of the deal to say that I am going to give you 45%, I'm going to give you 100,000 return, I'm going to give you 15%, 30% return on your money. Whatever you are promising, how are you going to secure it? That's the question here. And that this is a crucial step in the process of you owning properties with no money. This is the process that makes or breaks it, right? So, are you going to sell this property? If you're going to sell this property, okay, so that's what they call a flip. You all know I'm not a fan of flips at all. I enjoy my buy-to-lets for now because it is about building the legacy. It is building the portfolio for me. It is about creating jobs for others. And that's me. About you, you need to figure that out, right? So in terms of how to secure whatever you're promising, the question is, right, when that money comes in, contractually, how are you going to secure it? Contractually, how are you going to secure it? You now need to work with lawyers, attorneys, things like that. And all of these people now needs to actually make sure that the deal is tight. The deal is tight. It is tight from your perspective. It is tight from the lender, whoever who is giving you the money. If you're working with someone who's savvy, they might say that they want to have what is called a covering bond on your property, or they'll introduce new things in the process, new things that you might not be aware of. And that's okay not to know these things. But you need to be having someone on your team, in your power team, someone that you call an attorney, so that you can quickly go and check with them to say, hey, this investor is saying that they need to do A, B, C, D. Sometimes people call out for certain things like, I want to have a covering bond, and they're just giving you 50,000. Hey, doing a covering bond takes you about 50,000. So all the profits and the returns of that is gone. But I'm giving you 1 million, and it's a covering bond for 10,000. That makes sense, right? I'm going to do it. And I might even say, for me, I might just be able to put down that money as well to make sure that my investor is happy. All right. So that's step number 4. And I'm just going to jump on to the last step of the process here. Ultimate guide of investing in property with no money, step by step. We are now on step number 5. There's plenty of steps, and I thought, let me just give you the guidelines. Right. This is the crucial one. Woo! Yeah, I wish I knew this one a little bit before I started off. You need to know how to manage people. People are strange, guys. People are freaking, yes, I did say freaking strange. You know, we have journeyed all this path. There's money on the table. I've heard some people saying that money changes people. I don't think so. I just think that money elevates what was there already. So, if you are in it and you have no money, but you're bringing in the deals all the time, all of a sudden there's more money than what is usual, or all of a sudden there's a sizable portfolio, and things are not going well, they are not going to go well. I promise you that, right? Like right now, we've got Corona in the lockdown. Corona has knocked on our door. A lot of things are not going in the everyday, or should I say in what we know. That's the reality. Some people will want to eject. If it was a parachute, they want to jump and pull up their parachute. That's what happens. It's human nature for some people to do that. Some people are cringing. Some people are happy. Some people, they want to expand. Some people, it's just human nature. People just behave in a different manner. Now, if you're not a good, strong-headed person in terms of managing others, this is where you're going to fail, because one of your investors, before the project comes to an end, And if you're one of those people that are doing a flip, the ones that I don't like doing, and you're doing a flip and then they come, you're halfway through the project, and we're in Corona time and you cannot finish the renovation, but now they want their money back. Yes. What you gonna do? Yeah, that's the question. This is a reality. It happens all the time, in and outside Corona. You know, people are start talking about this thing. Hey, let's talk about Corona, when you have invested what, and what is the impact. The reality is that some of these things, they happen every day anyways, but they are not just elevated. But I'm here to tell you that things are going to go wrong in your property journey. It's a reality. It does happen. But you need to know how to manage people. You need to know how to manage. I'm going to give you an example. This example is the dumbest example ever. My project is not going well, right? How I communicate to my investor will either make or break how they receive it, or either make or break the project. Right, we are at window level, right? Let's say we're doing a new build. So we are at the window level, but we are delayed with about a week. I can either go back to my investor and I can say we are delayed with 1 week and we are just on window level. That's one feedback. The other feedback is I can go back to my investors and I can say to my investors, hey, we have just reached the window level and we are 2 weeks away from completion. We have had a delay, but we will be able to catch up. Boom! Something else, same issue, communicated differently. It just creates a better perception of how the next person is going to receive it. So I've just communicated the same issue, but I've just communicated it in the positive. I've highlighted the issue. I've also indicated how I'm resolving it. And I've also indicated how far are we from finishing off. So in their minds, that investor, I've got a good handle on the project. Okay. Right. The other one is just all the money is finished on the project. All right. All the money is finished on the project. It was a renovation that we're doing. We're renovating, let's say, 10 units. And out of those 10 units, I promised the investor that we are going to refinance the deal. Okay. It's another scenario that I'm giving here. With that, I go to the investor and I say the money is finished and on the project. And then there is silence. Right? That's the first one that will come up, silence. Because they are waiting. The other part, I can go to the investor and I can say to the Mr. Investor, hey, on the 10 units that we were actually renovating, we have completed 5 of the 10 units and we are looking for tenanting, and we potentially have 55 people that have made the applications, and we are waiting to make sure that we get someone in. And before this happens, I am looking for alternatives for additional money because the money that we projected is finished. Do you happen to have an extra 200,000 for us to finish the project because we had a miscalculation or whatever reason that you did put in here? It is going to be received differently. So it's about managing people. And I'm going to say this again. I am weird. People are weird. Right? So it's about how do you manage them. And the way you manage them will give you success. Right? Now the last tip, the last step in all this, in the ultimate guide of investing in property with no money at all, I'm giving you the step-by-step today. If you're loving this, share some love. Say, yeah, TJ, this is good. And at the end of this, if you think that this has been of good value, I'm going to say to you that you need to share. You need to start a watch party on your side so that there is many people that can know these things and we can all grow together, strong in mind and strong in our pockets. All right. The last one, which is step number 5. Step number 5. Right. You need to know how to grow and systemize whatever you have started. You need to grow and systemize whatever that you have started. So now you have started this thing and it's working. You've got 2 investors that have invested with you, whether it is on 1 deal or 2 deals. It's working now, right? That's where you are. The point now is, how do you systemize it? How do you make sure that this is coming in? So I'm going to give you an example here. Back in the days when I was employed, my boss at the time, he gave me a bonus. Let's just say he gave me a bonus of 20,000. It was a 20,000 Rand bonus that I got. Let's just say it was when 2017, somewhere there. But shortly before that, I had done 3 deals, and those 3 deals had given me 60,000 Rand. Okay? And one of the deals was giving me 5,000 Rand on a monthly basis in cash flow, right? And when I had this conversation with my boss, pardon me, he said to me, TJ, you've worked so hard, but I want to say something to you. This year, I noticed that you had a bit of a slippage in quarter 2 or 3, and I was just wondering, that as we go into next year, this doesn't happen, and you are continuing strong on your performance. I like to have you on my team. You're doing very well. The one alarm that came into my mind, I love my job, no doubt. I love my profession, no doubt. I utilize what I have learned in my business, what I've learned when I was working into my business, and I'm still learning along those lines as well, because it's all about managing people. What was an alarm in my head at that particular time was, dude, you've made 60,000. That was a once-off. You've got this 5,000 that is coming in on a monthly basis. How best can you systemize this so that this 5,000 can grow? Because if it was growing and if I had a system behind it, then actually, if I was getting paid 50,000 for argument's sake, then I am 45,000 away from actually replacing my salary. That's the question, isn't it? But a lot of us, where we are right now, we are in the process of, we're doing these things once off. So we get the 60,000, we get excited, whoo, yes. But then it dies out. When it dies out, it's because there is no next 60,000. We are not anticipating for the next 60,000 to come, right? So which basically means that there is no system behind it to create the next 60,000. When I figured that out, and I said I don't have a system to continuously reproduce 60,000, to continuously reproduce this 5,000, I stood back and I was like, hold on. We need to find a process, a system on how we can create this. Because if I was creating 60,000 every second, third month, I don't need the bonus of this 20,000 because it is a slap on my face. My time is worth more. That I figured out. I did figure that out, that my time was worth more, right? But how best now do I reproduce this? This is the biggest challenge that we have. But I'm hoping that step 5 helps you to do that. My name is TJ. It's been great hanging out with you. If you've got any questions, I would say in the comments, drop them in there and we can talk about it. And if we talk about this, it becomes a way in our minds. We start not just talking about it, we start putting action to it. Without just putting action to it, we start making some money. And out of making some money, we can start changing our lives and we can do great things. And out of the great things, we can be a better person to ourselves, better persons to our families, and we can enjoy life because there's a little bit more than just going to work. And I'm not saying that going to work is not good. I do work. I just work for the boss who is my wife and my kids, right? And those ones, they are fun to work for because there's just more that I can do. It is I, TJ. It's been great hanging out with you guys. I am